Alright, section 3. Looks like we're outside now, for some reason, but we have tree monsters! You know, I don't really know what those things are. Like, what are those inspired by? Because I know most monsters in Castlevania are kind of inspired by horror-based mythology, I think. Not sure about those guys, though, the guys that come out of the tree. But these caterpillars right here, if you whip them in their soft underbelly right there, you can take them out in one hit. Whereas if you aim for the shell, well, you're going to be whipping them for quite a while. And we have the ever-famous Fleeman right here. Oh, these guys suck. So the trick to beating these guys is that the moment they fall down, that's when you want to whip them. Because if you give them any more chances, they'll just hop around. And, yep, that is a freaking knife. Screw that. I would rather take the hit than get the freaking knife. I want to keep my herb. Yep, go away. And if you give them chances to hop around, well, you're probably going to end up getting hit. Because this enemy has probably one of the more erratic movement pathways in the game right here. So the best thing is to just keep moving. And as soon as those storks drop them on the ground, whip them. Because that's a pretty guaranteed opportunity you're going to have to kill them right there. Okay, got past them without any trouble. Those guys have given me trouble before. We have weird water monsters. Alright, well, later. Weren't that much of a threat, were they? And I want to be very careful to hold on to my herb right here. The herb is the key to my success. I've never really had the herb for this long. You know, I've done a couple practice runs here. Although, like I said, I've never beaten the game. It's still going to be kind of a blind playthrough when we get to a certain part. But I've never gotten the herb that early, and I've never really had it throughout the entirety of the game up to this point, so I'm actually pretty excited that I have that right now. So go ahead and take those guys out while their underbelly is still facing us. Oh, into the second part of the level already, huh? Although it looks like we've got a lot of mud right here. Ugh. Alright, well, let's keep going. I think we're gonna have, yep, the toads right here. Yep, I know these guys in Rondo of Blood are super annoying. And you know what, I was thinking about doing Rondo of Blood as like the first classic 2D Castlevania that I ever did, but then I started thinking that, you know what, that's a hardcore game. You know, especially since it's available in North America now with that compilation that was released. It was bundled with Symphony of the Night. But I was thinking, like, that's a pretty hardcore game, so I better watch out, but do something a bit easier first. And wow, those are probably the most well-endowed mud women I have ever seen in my life. Or most well-endowed mud monster, to be honest. You know, I know we've had, like, mud men and mud monsters up to this point, but I don't think we've ever had mud women, which is kind of weird. You know, very well-endowed mud women, too, which I guess that's just another Koji Igarashi decision right there. He really likes his half-nude women monsters, doesn't he? Let's continue to escape underground, and now we're going to be in some kind of crystal cavern. Let's go ahead and heal up. Boom! Man, the herb is just so freaking good. And I think what we have to do here is, yep, we're going to have to whip the ground. Skadoosh! There we go. Alright, I'm going to have to be very careful to not whip any candles when I'm right in front of them. Because, again, unlike Symphony of the Night, whenever you get a new sub-weapon, you got to keep it. Like, you don't get the choice to get your old one there, so if you didn't want the one that you got, the new one, well, too bad, suck it up. And that's just one of those things, right? Like, if Iga, because he goes by Iga, if Iga was in charge of, like, developing this game and, like, designing it, I don't get why he would omit that feature, right? Like, it was in Symphony of the Night, and Symphony of the Night was the first one he ever designed. I don't get why he would omit that, and oh, wow. Well, next to the very busty mud women and that thing right here, this is a very suggestive game, wow. No wonder gamers in the 90s were so messed up. I kid. In fact, I think this game was released in, like, 2001 or something, so no 1990s excuse right there. But yeah, Iga, you think he would add, like, more quality of life, like, you know, he already added, you know, the improved control with the jumping. He added to where the knockback was not a big thing, so why wouldn't you do that with the sub-weapons? Why wouldn't you keep those sensibilities, the quality of life improvements? I don't really know. But okay, what I want to do, let's go ahead and check out this candle over here once we get past the Skellymen, the blue skeletons. Oh, watch out! Alright, that wasn't a sub-weapon, and I think if we go over here, I think I want to stay on the bottom path because these guys will attack you from below if you let them. And I actually think these are sub-weapons, yep, so don't want to pick those up. The cross is actually pretty freaking good, I wouldn't mind having that, but over the herb, no thanks, because I'm just able to heal whenever I want. Man, that's so awesome. See, that's the type of stuff that I feel like, you know, like a healing potion or healing item. I feel like that really offsets, or would have offsetted, the more esoteric and not so good design choices of original Castlevania, but we'll get into more detail on that later for sure. But for now, it's boss time again. And this time we've got a wizard right there, and he has a heart-draining attack. See, this is a part where it would be really nice to actually be able to whip in an upwards diagonal direction, but again, we can only whip in like a downwards diagonal direction, which I don't think is nearly as useful as like an upwards diagonal direction, which is kind of weird. But the wizard is not too threatening. What he'll do is just kind of teleport around. He has that attack that can suck hearts out of you. He can summon the pillars from up the ground, and he can also summon those scythes right there, along with the demon. Yep. So in order to dodge the demon, just stay in the middle right here. He'll breathe the breath, and then you can just safely get to another side right there. Let's see if I can take him out. Just one more hit, and I think we can do it. Come on. Oh, I accidentally took him out. I thought I was going to have to go like another cycle or something, but nope. Give me my red orb. Yes. Oh, what's that? Were you wondering where my commentary was? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear your complaints over this epic rendition of Bloody Tears. Man, you know, Bloody Tears, it's just like Vampire Killer in the way that it's just... You know, it's an iconic Castlevania song, but it's also just an iconic song in gaming, right? Like, everyone knows Bloody Tears, and this version might be my favorite version of Bloody Tears ever. It is that awesome, man. You know, Bloody Tears has been in so many Castlevania games, so, you know, there's a lot to choose from as far as your favorite is concerned, but I think Chronicles might have it nailed down. This version is fantastic. And also, did you guys hear that version in the second season of the Castlevania anime? Like, man, I'm not an anime guy. Like, I don't watch much anime. Actually, I don't watch any, to be honest. But, you know, of course I watch Castlevania because, you know, I consider myself to be a Castlevania fan. And, boy, that version of Bloody Tears, that sent chills down my spine whenever I heard it. Oh, just awesome. But here we have the red skeletons. Don't want to hang around here for too long because you can't actually kill those things. You just come back every time you whip them. And where are those things coming from, you ask? Well, they're coming from, oh, that statue in her Bloody Tears. Get it? Okay, well, I'm going to get past the skeletons before they hurt me again. You see, if we had not back in this game, that would have, like, plummeted me through that gap, and I would have had to start all the way from the bottom, and that would have just annoyed me. And look, there's definitely a place for difficult games, right? And there's definitely a place for the very, like, slow, strategic, you gotta plan all your move games, right? But one, like, a slow, strategic, you have to plan everything out, you really have to trudge through a trial and error game, that's fine. I don't get why you would want that type of game to be a platformer, though. Like, if I want a slow, steady game, I want something more strategic to where, when I compare it to other contemporaries of the genre, I'm not like, wow, this is so slow and murky. Because let's compare, okay, Castlevania Chronicles specifically, right? PlayStation 1 game. Don't want to get the holy water because I still have the herb. PlayStation 1 game. Do I want to play like the slow, methodical, trudge through everything, you know, take precautions with every step, Castlevania Chronicles, or do I want to play something like Mega Man X4, where everything is like super dash happy and really quick and, you know, full of energy and all that kind of stuff? It's just like, I just don't really know if, like, you want that type of game to be a platformer, really. And granted, Mega Man X4 has, you know, trial and error in it, right? You have to plan some of the moves out, you have to kind of play it over and over to really get a feel, but it's got nothing on my Castlevania, man, and even this game, I would say, from what little I've played. And I don't know, just like, and I feel there are also places for really difficult games. That's why Darksiders is so popular, right? But I'm just not the kind of person that derives enjoyment or fun from super frustrating experiences, right? Which, you know, I'm just kind of going over my beefs with classic Castlevania here, and again, you know, I'm not going to say that it's just, like, bad no matter what. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe it just doesn't appeal to me personally, because if I want to play, like, a good platformer, I'm going to play Super Mario, Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X, you know, everything like that. Not necessarily Castlevania, classic Castlevania, which is kind of the opposite of that in almost every conceivable way. Okay, we have like a Chandelier Monster right here, though. I don't think you can kill this thing, as I just did. Okay, but I was about to say, when paired with the Medusa heads, that thing can be very, very annoying. It was still sniping me anyway, so who cares? I'm gonna go ahead and get the screen nuke right there. And the Medusas are just the freaking worst. I'm sure they designed the Medusas in mind with, like, they will hit you every single time because of their arc or anything. But if we get right here, we get some secret chicken. wall meet, and then the boss. Who could it possibly be? And it is a very clearly topless Medusa. You know, next to this and the busty mud women, I'm starting to think that, like, wow, the monsters in Dracula's castle have a very strange dress code. But luckily Medusa's super easy, you just gotta wail on her. You can just stay in one position and do it pretty much. One of the easiest bosses in the game. There we go. No problem. Oh, and it would appear now the Medusa is the one to turn to stone. How ironic. But okay, let's collect our orb and... oh, this is when it begins. I haven't ever gotten past the next level, guys. This is when it starts getting frustrating, it starts getting hard, and it starts getting rage-inducing.